everyone! Welcome back to more Phoenix Wright is Destiny, Dual Destiny. Now, you might be wondering, Nedro, you went live a little bit past 6. I know. I had audio issues. Actually, no. Audio was the one thing that didn't break. Except for the fact that I had to switch over to my new mic. If things sound different. So yeah, my other one just completely gave up on me. And I was just like, yeah, we're not dealing with you anymore. So I upgraded. And it's here. So... yeah. About the mixing situation, just let me know if I have to adjust anything. If I'm too quiet, the game's too quiet, with anything that happens, who knows, right? The world's our oyster. No, it's not. We have, things. So, anyways, to what actually happened. So, again, I came home from work tired, so I was like, I'm gonna take a nap, which I did. It was a great nap. 10 out of 10 would recommend taking a nap if you're tired. Wow, basic self-care would recommend. Actually, all self-care I recommend. Take care of yourselves. You only live once, man. To take care of your life. Or something like that. I don't know. I'm just making this shit up as I go. Because that's what you gotta do. Just in life, you just gotta wing. Sometimes you just gotta wing it. Right? That's like. Anyways, back to what happened. So like, I wake up like 10 minutes to the before I am supposed to go live. And I'm like, okay, this is good. This is a good time. This is enough time. And, you know, I procrastinate for a good 5 minutes or so. And then I'm just like, okay, gotta close Genshin. Because, needless to say, I did my commissions before I took said nap. Because, gotta do the dailies. It's all about that grind. Gotta save up those primos. Anyways, yeah. So then I was, getting everything ready, and then, of course, my computer freezes just as I open OBS, as always. And then I launched my computer back up, so I restarted my computer, and then my external hard drive was doing some issues. Again, as usual, just how it do be sometimes. And I'm like, okay, but that was a quick fix. It was just a quick to plugging it in, taking it out and plugging it right back in, because that's what fixed it, honestly. Don't know how that worked, but it did. So I'm here just like, fuck it, I'm here, I'm live, and let's just see how this monstrosity of an event happens. It was a whole ordeal, man. A whole thing. Gotta prepare thyself. Sorry if I bumped the mic. I'm sorry if you can hear that. April 19th, 9:30 a.m. District Courtroom number 4. No discussion beforehand? Alright. Guess it's not important then. Court is back in session for the trial of Demi and Tema. Apollo's Justice Defense Team Leader is ready, Your Honor. Athena Sykes, Assistant Defender, is ready too, Your Honor. Just so peep. As chipper as ever, I see. And in French, no less. And the prosecution? Is the prosecution even here yet? See the shackles wreck? Very well then. By the way, I asked Detective Fulbright to price 30 of shackles today. Thank you, Your Honor. We definitely need those. For sure. 100%. Thank you, Your Honor. There will be no more of your no more of your funny business this time, Prosecutor Beckwell. There will still be lots of chaos in this courtroom, Your Honor. This is an Ace Attorney game after all. Now, your opening statement, if you would. I believe it's standard procedure for the prosecution to handle it. Your Honor, you did it yesterday. Looks like the judge is really bringing it today. He probably realized how Blackwell played him. It's one mean game, as Simon says. Yeah, His Honor has to fight to defend his honor today. Your baldness? Huh. Have you heard of her honking the sound? I don't know what the fuck that was. It was probably one. It was my neighbor. He was backing up, and something probably happened. It's plain to see that you've always dreamt of delivering an epic open statement. Back to the game. Back to our game of Simon Says, eh? I have? I don't know if I would say that. Your Honor, please stay strong. Have him give his opening statement. Why, of course you have. I saw it in your eyes last time you gave the opening statement. That was long ago when you yearns deeply for the thrill of an epic opening statement. Also, was the judge just always a judge, or was he a lawyer before he was a judge? Like, we need some backstory on the judge here. I demand it. For decades now, you've been watching opening statements from your bench. They were the crown jewels of the court. The one thing you could not possess. The crown jewels of the court? I thought that would be his gavel. Now, at long last, they are within your grasp. How could you possibly refuse? Oh, so you don't mind if I do it then? I'll make it a special exception. Just this once. Okay, then what do we consider yesterday? Or, in our case, for... fuck. Mike, why are you loose? Mike, why you do this to me today? I'll fix you later. Here we go again. Yep, more Blackwell's mind games. We're already in this game of Simon Says, and we're not gonna lose. Well, in that case, I think I might go ahead and make the opening statement myself. In yesterday's session, we learned the shocking truth that the victim, element of Rex Kyuubi, was the Amazing Ninetales. We also learned that the Amazing Ninetales was a key figure in the yokai craze and the anti-merger protests. It was further revealed that upon learning Rex Kyuubi's secret identity, Mayor Damien Tim murdered him. The fact that the crime took place in a tightly locked room was also brought to light, and the only people in that tightly locked room were the defendant and the victim. Your Honor, I don't want to reveal my trump card yet. We know better. Well, at least Apollo knows better. In defense, proposed the existence of a hypothetical third party. Your Honor. That's where my trump card comes into play. But further investigation revealed no proof of a third party who has escaped the room. Ergo, we must conclude that the evidence against the defendant is, well, conclusive. Objection? I don't have what my ground is yet, but nonetheless, objection. Hey! Did I say something wrong? That was quite astonishing. You truly outdone yourself this time. Oh, one more thing to boast about to my grandchild. Guys, have I ever told you my headcanon that the judge is Verity Gave's father? Because it makes sense! That would make John Marshall, or whatever his official English name is. I haven't gotten that far in my playthrough of... I haven't really gotten that far into my playthrough of the official English translation. Because I'm not I haven't been motivated to replay it. I'm sorry. I want to get all the achievements before a turnabout replay for investigations. But I'm... motivation is not there. So anyways, yeah. Well, this was not an unexpected turn of events. Just like, this is the kind of things we just gotta play with Mr. Blackwell. Well, now then, it seems the prosecution has called a new witness to testify. The unacceptable yokai evidence left at the scene of the crime. Well, that does not deem some sort of explanation. The feathers and tracks? Weren't those left by the mayor while he was possessed? That was a button and act to protect his daughter. Oh! Yes, of course. I had suspected as much. Wait, did he actually believe the mayor's weird award-winning performance? Your Honor, please! Be better than that. His daughter was the one who planted the yokai evidence. There it goes, the true identity of the yokai in the manor was the manor's maid at Trixie-Tenma. The prosecution is engaged in mere conjure. Would you care for some witness testimony then? For I am ready to prove that little scramp is the one behind the Tamatoro facade. Witness testimony. I bet that means Flitch and that croup Bell. Very well, then. Bailiff, would you bring in the first witness? Mr. Flitch, you made quite the hasty exit yesterday. See, that doesn't happen. See that it doesn't happen again today. Ben's known for my hasty retreat since I kid. Bit of a trademark of mine. Have you stolen the detective's shoes again? Fletch, I need answers. Indeed. You managed to give a total of 5 bailiffs the slip. Like those amateurs could have nabbed me, eh? Yips! Perhaps we should shackle you by the neck. That would keep you in place. Yips! No, please! I'm liable to rip my own head off if I start running. Your statement, now. Yes, sir, Mr. Blackhead, sir. He may be a hasty retreat, but there's no escaping Prosecutor Blackwell. Yeah, Blackwell doesn't strike me as the give-up easy type. Yeah, no, it's not like he's a convicted criminal or anything. Now then, Mr. Flitch, your testimony, please. Especially the true nature of the yokai you saw in the manor shortly after the crime. Tamatori is really that little maid girl. Ain't no doubt about it. I mean, the Tamatori I saw was just a little thing about her size. But she had, the little runt had a big old staff. I seen it when it came out into the foyer. Betcha she stole it from the Forbidden Chamber after stumbling upon the crime scene. She was gonna use it to wall me up a crown of fierce reputation. I just know it! So the Tamatora was short in stature. That's because it was Miss Trixie-Tenma all along. Yeah, betcha. Besides, all the rest in the manor was way taller than her. What about you? Fraying heights is but an easy thing. a bit old ox like the defendant could never pass for short. What if the Tematoda impersonator was walking on their knees? Why would they do that, Apollo? More than the Oni knockers, I've seen it myself. Then perhaps that yokai was really Miss Tenma after all. All monsters are not but tricks, either the minds or cheap parlor verities. So you're saying she created an illusion like one of those magical eyes things? Precisely. Human senses are easily deceived. Take the fella in the cell next to me. Each night he cries and screams about some ghost he thinks he sees. But in truth, it was simply the janitor. Ho ho ho! Prosecutor Blackwell just gave up the ghost, literally. The janitor's dusty complexion and all white attire are, no doubt, partially to blame. And that and the fact that he constantly mutters about taking vengeance for this or that. Vengeance will be the janitor's? Vengeance will be the janitor's. That's actually sounds like a real ghost to me. Apollo, there's no such thing as ghosts, okay? The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Hold it.
Mr. Flitch, you and Mr. LaBelle mentioned something about a practice yesterday. Did you know the so-called lesson was about what you were supposed to say in court? No, you got it all wrong. Then could you tell the court exactly what this sort of lesson was? It was? Oh, it was, what is it again? Yipes! Yeah, now I remember math! Yeah, you know, numbers and stuff. Right. Math. Alright, bucko. What's 2 times 2? He ain't answering. He doesn't know. Haha! I caught him. He's completely under Blackwell's control, too. Anyways, that Tematoda was that little maid girl. So what's the difference?
Hold it.
I think you got a good look at how tall the Tematoda impersonator was. Yeah, I betcha. I got a old habit of sizing people up. I can't even give you a proper primer on how to pull it off under the table niche. I got a knack for it, figuring out where the people's pockets are and how much money they have. I size them up real good before I reveal them of their valuables. He just admitted to being a pickpocket right here in court. Does the witness hold that this Tematoda entered the foro? Darn right I do. I feel like I'm changing his accent like all the damn time. But that little runt had a big old staff. I seen it when she came from the foyer.
Hold it.
Well, you're not going to brush it all off by claiming the perp was short. Must have hit you. Yeah, we're on nerves there, cause you ain't tell that tell yourself. Look who's talking, yeah, Mr. Yeah. I got to stand on a box just to testify. Anyway, Mr. Flitch, correct me if I'm wrong. But didn't you say that Tematoda you saw had a staff? Cross my heart and hope to die. I know, cause I went a jingle jangle, and a jingle. But where do you suppose that staff came from? The staff, you say? Well, betcha she stole it from the Forbidden Chamber.
Hold it.
Is this the part where I tell? I suppose you mean to say that Jinxie Tenma entered the Forbidden Chamber to get one. Well, I ain't never seen a stuff like that in the manor. So it had to be in the Forbidden Chamber. Oh, really? That stench of label is sick. And thank you so much. The stench of label is sick in the air today. Jinxie entered the Forbidden Chamber after the incident. Then she took a staff to try to cover up her actions by pretending to be Tematoro. I guess that's what Flinch is trying to say. Could Jinxie have entered the Forbidden Chamber if she wanted to? No! There is one thing I'm wondering about. Why did that yokai have a staff in the first place? Hehehehe, well, I've got my hunches about that. She was going to use it to wallop me on the account of my fierce reputation, and I just know it! Wallop you? And why would the so-called yokai want to do that? That little Meg girl never did like me. She always hightails it when I come around, or she sticks those weird papers on my noggin. She does that to literally everyone. Okay, maybe not literally everyone, but she's done it to Apollo many times. She probably thinks of him as the dreaded Tanuki monster of the Cubai Mountain or something. So that's the one she thinks is a literal demon lawyer. We need to prove that Jinxie isn't the Tematoro, but I have no idea how we're going to do that. All we have to do is prove it was impossible for Jinxie to turn it into Tematoro. And that might be easier than you think. Really? Now is our chance. Trump card number 1, baby! We have 2 trump cards. Our chance to expose the real Tematoro for all to see.
Objection!
It would seem that Tematoro was, in fact, not this innocent little girl. Huh? How do you figure that? You claim that Tematoro you saw had one of those staffs from the Forbidden Chamber. But it would have been impossible for Miss Tema to get a hold of one. Care to elaborate, Mr. Justice? The mayor swallowed this key shortly after the murder. He wanted to keep the killer out of the Forbidden Chamber. What's this? This key was deep in the mayor's stomach when Miss Temba discovered the crime scene. So you see, it would have been impossible for her to get into the Forbidden Chamber. In short, the Tematoro seen holding that staff could not have been Jinxie Tema. Yeah! Yuck! What? But then who does the defense believe that it was impersonating Tematoro? Our Tematoro imposter is none other than... Such accusations beg evidence. Aside from his ghastly appearance, can you prove that he was the yokai we seek? Yes, in fact, I can. Trump card number 2, baby! Very well, let's see where the defense is going with this. Mr. Justice, please show us proof as to the true identity of the Tematoro impersonator.
Take that!
We found this hand cream in the Forbidden Chamber. And we know that whoever was Tematoro took one of the staffs out of there. In short, I believe whoever is this hand cream belongs to is the yokai impersonator we're looking for. But Mr. Justice, how do you propose to identify the hand cream's owner? I'm glad you asked, Your Honor. The defense requests a fingerprints analysis on this piece of evidence. We don't really need it. It might tell us who it belongs to. Interesting. So you expect to find the yokai's prints there. Very well, I hereby call a short recess while we wait for the fingerprints results. No need for that, your baldness. We have the prints. We have prints of everyone at the manor that day. You call Prosecutor Blackville! Could anyone be more whipped? What's their relationship? Who's really whipping who? You know? Because in defense, Blackwell is a convicted criminal, so... Fulbright, analyze for Prince. You have 3 minutes. Your wish is my command. Very well then. I guess we just wait right here. 3 minutes later. It would seem the fingerprints analysis is complete. What do the results show? What in the world? They're Florence LaBelle's prints, aren't they? This is absurd! Prosecutor Blackwell? I'm not going to like this, am I? Don't tell me. They're Tema Toro's prints. Fingerprints analysis has revealed that the prints belong to... Oh god, is it gonna be fucking me? Phineas Flitch. Wait, what?
Objection!
Wait, what? What? Then Mr. LaBelle wasn't the one who entered the Forbidden Chamber.
Objection!
Why, you tricksy little tanuki? Explain yourself now! Sure. Some prints are mine. I mean, I did play for that ham cream for Mr. LaBelle after all. So you're the one who entered the Forbidden Chamber. So what if I did? Got a problem with it? Yipes! You fool of a tanuki! Order! Order! Well, this is not what I was hoping from my trump cards, by the way. Mr. Justice, care to explain what this could mean? Excellent question. The fact is that Mr. Flitch was in the Forbidden Chamber. Wait a second. Does this mean the Tema Totoro holding that staff was Phineas Flitch? He said... Wait... Flitch said that the Tema Totoro was short. And Apollo addressed him as, Mr. I need to stand on a box just to testify. We see our Tema Totoro, but we don't see our murderer. Did we ever consider that the Tema Totoro was in fact also not where am I going with this? That the Tema Totoro, I still believe that the murderer is Florence LaBelle. Cause God, that fucking asshole. Yipes! And the cat out of the bag. Mr. Flitch is Tema Totoro? I don't understand. Does this mean Mr. Flitch is the real killer? The witness will explain himself this instant. Begging your pardon, your honorship, but I was just doing what the alderman told me. He wanted me to be Tema Totoro in the village exorcism ritual. Oh, you mean that event at the Nine Tails Festival? So that was you inside the Tema Totoro costume? Yep, and after the event, I went to watch that pro wrestling program. But it bored me to tears on account of the wrestling being a complete jobbers. So he didn't actually watch the entire wrestling match. That's when I looked at the Tema Totoro costume and I got an idea. Nobody can tell it's me while I'm wearing it. And because I'm all superstitions, no matter what I do, the villagers won't say a word. In other words, you use the superstitions to effectually render yourself invisible. Why did you want to enter the Forbidden Chamber in the first place? Because of that treasure in there. Thought it was my big chance to sneak in and nab it. Treasure. Wait! Objection, Your Honor! I have a piece of evidence that proves that's not what he really wanted. I mean, that's the greatest get rich chance in the universe. Grandpappy told me about it. Says there's amazing treasure in there. He went in there not knowing his grandfather already put through it. Guess that's one tale that didn't get passed down from Grandpappy to grandson. Wait, how exactly did you get into the Forbidden Chamber? There was a meeting in the Fox Chamber that day. Plus, the mayor swallowed the only key that could open the Forbidden Chamber's door. You couldn't have possibly get on in. I could go through the air front in the foyer. Yeah, that's on the left side of the admin picture. I went in and made a little hole. You used that to get into the air duct that leads to the Forbidden Chamber, I did. You what? But that's how... How's that even possible? Wait a sec. Remember that air vent in the Forbidden Chamber? So Mr. Flitch found a way to get into that air duct. And that's how he got from the foyer vent to the Forbidden Chamber vent. Now, this isn't making any sense. So, Tematoro was nothing more than a cat burglar. Or rather, tanuki burglar. And we're back to being without anyone to charge for the admin's murder. Looks like our so-called yokai is nothing more than one big troublemaker. Tell me, Mr. Flitch, what did you do after fleeing to the foyer? I got out of that costume real quick. Would have caused the trouble at that point. And where's that costume now? Heck if I know. And it ain't my fault y'all never find it. The police searched every nook and cranny. No yokai costumes were left in the manor. What if it was tossed outside the manor? Ah! No way! But maybe, just maybe. Oh god, you're getting spit over my new mic. The defense seems to have hit upon an idea. Well, go on, Mr. Justice. Okay, here's what I think. Mr. Flitch, did you get rid of the costume here? Did you toss it out the window? Because that would certainly explain why it didn't turn up inside the manor. You think I tossed it out the window? That's costume cost me a pretty penny. So why would I go do something like that? I can think of a few reasons. Any bright ideas, Apollo? Well, assuming the costume really was tossed out from the window, then the next question would be, what happened to it after that? And if I'm right, I might have just the thing to prove what happened to the costume. Phineas Flitch. I have just the evidence for you. You do? This evidence proves you got rid of your Tematoro costume through the window. Ah, that's Tematoro flying through the sky. And just how does this prove Mr. Flitch threw his costume out the window? It's quite simple. That's not Tematoro in the photo. It's the costume that Mr. Flitch threw out. Ah, that's crazy talk. You ain't serious, are ya? There's a steep cliff right side of the foyer's windows, meaning that manor is pretty high up. The costume flew through the air after it was tossed out. That's when the photo was taken. In other words, the photo of Tematoro was really just a flight of fancy. What? Yikes! Oh my! So there really was never a yokai. Really, Your Honor? You're now just getting that, Your Honor? Oh, I can't keep any of them cats bagged. Can I self-file a claim for the lost costume? This is more proof that the defense's position. Jinxie Tenma had nothing to do with staging the yokai sighting. Care to raise any objections, Prosecutor Blackquill? None whatsoever. Yeah, but we still have one problem. Who actually murdered Element QBI? I'll deal with that Trixie Tanuki after I dealt with this case. Don't worry. Well, we did it. Get going. Now all we have to do is make Florence LaBelle take the stand.
Objection.
Sheathing the sword a bit early, are we not? Huh? No. Nothing has been proven beyond a doubt. Take this tricksy little Tanuki, for instance. How do you suppose he was able to exit the Forbidden Chamber? Probably the same way he got in. Through the chamber's air vent. And what of the feathers and tracks in the scene of the crime? They would suggest that the Tanuki exited through the chamber door, not the air vent.
Objection.
But the Forbidden Chamber does not open from the inside. So what you're saying makes no sense. Right? Someone on the outside opened the door for you. Isn't that right? Yep, that's right, Mr. Blackjack. It's Black Quill, Flitch. The door suddenly spun right open. Sprung right open. Who was on the other side? Didn't get a good look on the account of the sudden glare. Like how the reflection of my head blends fellow moviegoers emerging from the dark. Your Honor, maybe you should sit in the back of movie theaters. That's when I snatched his staff and made my daring escape. That's when the little maid girl spotted me as I hightailed it down the hall. That means the Forbidden Chamber wasn't open until after the crime was discovered. But wait. We still don't know who opened it. And this is where someone's gonna say that it was Mayor Tenma because he's the one who ended up swallowing the key. Maybe there really was a third person in the Fox Chamber.
Objection.
Well, you little Tanuki. When the Forbidden Chamber opened, did you see the accused pass out there? Nope. Only the one there was the Elderman, and he was dead as a doornail. If the accused wasn't there, what do you suppose he was up to? Uh-oh. I don't like where this is going. You should have seen this one coming, Apollo. Come on. Ah, don't tell me. Plainly, the only one who could have opened the Forbidden Chamber was the accused Damian Tenma. Bah! Wait a second! There has to be someone else besides Mayor Tenma there. Really? And who might that be? Oh, well, that would be...
Objection.
It seems our feisty little lass has forgotten the most important thing. Evidence. I didn't forget. I was just testing your attention to details. Miss Sykes, you can't prove your point without proof of some sort. It's a proven fact. Evidence is everything. Sorry. Guess I could put my foot in my mouth again. No, Cena. We're definitely onto something here. We are? Think about it. If Fletch was stuck inside the Forbidden Chamber, one of the alibis we heard no longer holds any water. The defense would like to call a new witness to the stand. Someone who knew Mr. Fletch was stuck in the Forbidden Chamber. And by virtue of knowing this, has an alibi that no longer adds up. Ah. Not that insufferable. Okay, so we all agree. Florence LaBelle sucks! Very well. The court will hear what Mr. Justice has to say. Whose alibi no longer adds up? Why, that's the defendant's aide, Florence LaBelle. Did he claim to be in the foyer at the time of the crime? True, but his alibi he also claimed that Mr. Fletch was in the foyer too. However, as we all now know, Mr. Fletch was not there with Mr. LaBelle at the time. In short, Mr. LaBelle's alibi has disappeared. Ugh! Florence LaBelle's alibi was one big lie. Isn't that right, Mr. Fletch? I reckon there ain't no keeping that cat in the bag here neither. It was all Mr. LaBelle's idea. He told me he'd button his lips about me and breaking into the Forbidden Chamber. In return, he said we'd vouch for each other's alibis. Shame on you, Mr. Fletch. Perjury is a serious crime, you know. God damn. Aw, shucks. Mercy, your honorship, sir. Mercy. I also assert that the person who opened the Forbidden Chamber for Mr. Fletch was none other than Florence LaBelle. After all, his alibi has just proven to be a complete fabrication. I see. We'll now take a 20-minute recess, after which time we'll see what Mr. LaBelle has to say for himself. Yes! We finally are going to drag that slippery snake onto the stand. In the meantime, the prosecution will question Mr. LaBelle about these new allegations. Okay. Hey, how you doing, Miss Tema? Can you tell us a little bit more about your aid, please? We did it, Apollo! We finally dragged Mr. LaBelle into court. Yeah. Hey, why the long face? I can't help but feel I'm missing something important. Plus, Prosecutor Blackwell is bound to mount a counterattack. You really are a worry, aren't you? It'll be fine! Huh, it sounded like me every time I play games. It's fine! That mystery figure... We'll figure out... That mystery figure out who opened the Forbidden Chamber for Mr. Fletch. Has to have been Mr. LaBelle. But... how did he open it? I think that's the mystery Apollo's trying to think. Just like, how did he open it? If Mayor Tema swallowed the key, how did Florence LaBelle open the cage?
Objection!
Objection!
Silence! Hold it!
Must have accidentally muted myself at one point. A little bit. Also, how long was I muted? Right. The witness of the will hurry up and explain the truth of his. Especially what did Jinxie Tenma do upon hearing the confession? Upon learning of her father's crime, little Jinxie fled without ever noticing me. How did Miss Tenma appear to you? Oh, the poor little thing seemed positively heartbroken, all teary-eyed and whatnot. I couldn't help but shed a few tears myself after seeing her like that. He actually sympathized with Jinxie. Seems like an overly human emotion for him. Yeah, because he's the only real monster we've seen so far. And looks and in character. Hey! That's a good roast, Apollo! 10 out of 10 would recommend. Next thing I did was check my face in the mirror. Checked your face? Why? To behold my beauty, the beauty that is my sadness. Why else? Apollo, I'm starting to lose faith in humanity. Don't worry, it's just losing faith in him. I know the feeling. Hang in there. At least keep faith in our client. That's what Mr. Wright told us to do. Let's keep this moving, shall we? So what happened next?
Hold it!
He opened the forbidden chamber. But why would he do that? Who knows? Maybe he wanted to free the demon Tematoto.
Objection!
The courtroom is no place for fairy tales. Remember, you are under oath. Hello, Lebel speaking. Yes, I will certainly explore the matters. Toodles. Now, where were we again? You were going to tell us the real reason why the mayor opened the forbidden chamber. Oh, yes, of course. Hello, this is Lebel. Ha ha ha, good one, sir. You're an absolute riot. Okay, bye. You were saying? I swear. Never mind. This is a waste of time. He's just going to tell more lies. The witness will focus on his testimony, not his phone calls. Now tell the court what you did after and saw the mayor open the forbidden chamber. Well, after that...
Hold it!
What was Mr. Flitch like at this time? He was shouting, I can't see! I can't see! It's the curse of Tomatoro! Then he took off running like a madman. He must have been blinded by the sunlight flooding in. Wrong. What? He set eyes upon me, and it was thus blinded by my radiant beauty. I felt like radiant beauty should have been in all caps. So it was the curse of Florence LaBelle rather than the Tematoro. Yes, I'm afraid such beauty can't be a curse. It's almost criminal. You are a criminal, but not because of your beauty, fucker. The only thing criminal here is your careless, ceaseless jabbering. Now get on with your testimony. Oh, forgive me your darkness. Let's see. Oh, yes, I fled for dear life from the Tematoro and... In shock, I fled down the hallway to my right. The one with the phone at the end. So after you fled into the hallway with the phone at the end, Tematoro ran off towards the foyer? Precisely! Notice any consistencies, Polo? Well, Jinxie also sent Tematoro, right? She did. She said she passed each other in the hallway after she made the call to the police. Well, if LaBelle had fled down the hallway where that phone is, Jinxie would have seen him when she was returning from her making her call. Oh, right! And if she saw him, she would have definitely asked him for help. Right, it just doesn't make any sense. Time to review the evidence. What if we don't find some way to poke a hole in his testimony? Mayor Tema is good as guilty. This is bad. Very bad. We need to find an inconsistency, a mistake, some kind of conflict. It's all over if we can't find a flaw in the prosecution's case. Where's the shot? Florence LaBelle, you're lying about having witnessed these events from the hallway. What on earth do you mean? Yes, care to fill us the rest of us in, Mr. Justice? If Mr. LaBelle had really fell down into the hallway with the phone in it, he would have crossed paths with Miss Tema. What's this? After she discovered the crime scene, she immediately went to call the police. Then, after making her call, she went back to the main hallway, whereupon she encountered the demon yokai, whatever you want to call it. As for me, I call it Phineas Flitch in a Tematoro costume. The encounter happened right here, where the hallway meets. As for Mr. LaBelle, if he had fled there, fraying escape from the yokai imposter, why, yes, the two would have crossed paths. Right? Except Miss Tema told us that there was no one else in the hall. In short, Miss Tema did not see you in the hall because you were never really there. Ah! My eyes! My beautiful eyes! Ha! Not such a fabulous scent, is it now? Is it? I think Apollo might just be a little salty of how many times Florence have sprayed. But Mr. Justice. But the witness also stated that he heard the mayor confess. If he was lying about hearing the confession from the hall, then where was he when he heard it? Inside the Fox chamber. Where else? But isn't that where it was in the very crime scene? It is, Your Honor. And that means he's not really a witness. Rather, he's the third party I've been alleging this whole time. What? You think I'm the killer? How dare you? Hey, I never said killer. I just said alleged third party.
Silence.
Foolish flop. A true man knows when he has been beaten. A shred of lies come from Not before a foe was the sword of a true bird. Prosecutor Blackwell, what are you? I thought we were on the same side. You are mistaken. There is no sides here, save for my cold, steely edge of judgment. You are alone upon this battlefield, with naught but your lies and sickly sweet perfume. Whoa! What just happened? Blackwell's really tearing into him. You heard the mayor's confession from the inside, did you not? You defiant dandy. For the sole location from which you could have seen from which you could have seen and heard the mayor and the Tanuki, without either of them noticing you. You were right there in the Fox chamber. Oh my. So that's how it's going to be. Fine, I'll come clean then. Seriously? You admit to being there in the Fox chamber? I do. I did enter the room after the murder. But I was afraid of being falsely accused, so I lied about it. I feel terrible for lying like that, but it's a verbal cologne that I use to protect myself. I hate talking as this man. I'll be so glad when this is over. You better explain yourself, Mr. LaBelle. Yes, of course. I was just about to get to that. The witness is taking on thin ice. I will remind you that perjury is a very serious crime. Now, let's hear your testimony again. This time without your perfume of lies. So also, what the fuck is his natural hair color? Is it the blonde that we first saw him in? Or is it like is he like a fucking brunette? I did enter the Fox chamber after the murder, but I didn't enter until after Jinxie heard the confession and left. I heard the mayor groan and hid it behind the folding screen there. What I saw opposite their clothes was absolutely horrifying. So you see, I was there, but merely watching from behind the scenes. From behind the scenes? Why, yes, I believe you wouldn't be spotted if you were there. Just so, he could see everything without being spotted by the victim or that Tanuki Flitch. Suffice to say, he was a mere witness to the events, rather than an actual third party. This guy is as slippery as an eel. Apollo! You think he's telling the truth? Well, he was in the Fox chamber, so that's at least that much is true. The defense may cross-examine our slightly voturous witness. Voturistic. I'm tired. And I took a nap this afternoon. Why in the world would you enter that gloriously crime scene? Why? Because I was worried sick! Maritima's suit. It's what? It was designed personally by me! I was worried my work of art might get blood on it! I thought you were his fucking aide. This man clearly has his priorities in order. Okay, let's get this over with, shall we? Now, where was I? Oh, yes. So I entered the Fox chamber without thinking. But I didn't enter it until after Jinxie heard the confession and left. Why didn't you enter right away? It ruined my designer shoes. You would have ruined them either way, dude. Your shoes. Even now, just thinking about blood gets my fabulous footwear. It sends chills down my spine. That's why I hesitated. Objection. That's terrible! people! A man was dying and another injured, and you were worried about your shoes?
Silence.
Need I remind you, this is a court of law. We're not teaching morality here. He's far gone, anyways. Yes, thanks. We also don't need to get that. We don't need to get that reminder from an actual convicted criminal. We have schools of etiquette and the likes for such trivial pursuits. Gah! Now you listen to me, you deceptive dandy. Get to the point and be quick about it. Yes, well, I was in the Fox chamber, but I heard the mayor groan and hid behind the folding screen there.
Hold it.
Wait a second. Why did you hide yourself? Oh my, so you do understand. I do. By hiding, I was concealing my fabulous beauty, which for the sake of the universe is something I should never ever do. That's what you were thinking, right? Absolutely not. I'm sensing a black hole of air consistency forming around the witness stand. We cannot, if we can deliberate his mental process another time. Will you be doing that when you're together in the jail cells together? Get on with the testimony now. Well, regarding the matters of the murder scene. What I saw there was up there was close. Was absolutely horrifying. Could you describe the crime scene in a bit more detail? And what exactly would you like details about? The tails and feathers? Well, what I like to ask you about is the feathers and tracks. What do you remember about the yokai feathers and tracks? They resulted when Tematora exited the forbidden chamber. He came out in quite a rush, scattering feathers this way and that. Did you immediately know it was Mr. Flitch? I did, and that's why I suggested we cook up our alibis together. And how did those practice sessions go? They were nearly the death of me. Flitchy had to be the worst student ever! He really doesn't think he's done anything wrong, does he? Well, Mr. Justice, do you consider his statement? Let me look at the court records. No, it's not important. Probably not particularly important. No, Your Honor. The witness may proceed. All right, then. I would just like to add that there was a terribly grisly scene that I have described.
Hold it.
The mayor had been knocked out by a blow to the head. Could he really have been opened the forbidden chamber in a state like that? Well, it did seem difficult. He was all woozy and stumbling around as he opened it. It was such a hero. I just remembered something. Don't we have a piece of evidence? Didn't somebody tell us that That only the mayor knew. That only the mayor knew how to open the... I mean, that Alderman Kubia was the only one who knew how to open the Forbidden Chamber. I think the mayor needed medical attention more than a cheerleader. You think he's telling the truth about being in that room? Well, I believe he wasn't there. It was in there. The question is, when did he enter? You mean he didn't enter after Jinxie fled? Or was he there before the murder? If it's the latter, that would change everything. Right, if he was there before the murder, that would make him a suspect. But how do we go about proving that? Well, I guess we ask him what happened in there. Anyways, let's press him and see what kind of info we can extract from him. Let's cross our fingers that he says or reveals something incriminating.
Hold it!
Could you please describe the Forbidden Chamber at the time? It was shut tight until the mayor opened it. He is really trying to stress that it was the mayor who opened the Forbidden Chamber. That big liar! He opened it himself! Whoa, it looks could kill. LaBelle would be toast. Well, Mr. Justice, do you consider this statement to be any of importance? Let's say it's very important. I have a feeling it is. Let's add it to the testimony, just in case.
Hold it!
You're lying about the mayor opening the Forbidden Chamber, aren't you? In a sense, yes. It could have been seen as a lie. Wait, so you admit it? In this world of riddles with deceit, my beauty is the only self-evident truth. That is to say, all except me is but fictions and lies. Excuse me, bitch, I am very real. So fuck you. The nerve of this guy. His testimony is riddled with lies. Looks like I won't be getting anything useful out of... this statement.
Hold it!
Could you describe the state of the weapons that have been used at the scene? The spear has been thrusted all the way through Alderman Cubia. Then there was the statue that the Alderman had bludgeoned Maritima. That incredibly inspiring symbol and has fallen to the floor. Oh right, the statue. But why would he find it inspiring? Why exactly do you find the statue inspiring? Well, when I saw that statue, I felt that the merger has been realized. It's like a celebration of union between town and village. An inspiring symbol of goodwill. A broken statue next to a bloody corpse. Real inspiring. Very important, very important, very important. I believe that it is to be extremely important. I request that it to be added to the testimony. Nailed it. Your lies have finally betrayed you, Mr. LaBelle. What possibly could you mean? You say the statue was like a celebration of union between town and a village. Isn't that correct? It is indeed, but what is it? The two yokais are joining hands in goodwill, as if they were celebrating the marsupial merger. something the matter? So, how did you really know this statue was meant to be a symbol of goodwill again? What? Justice Dunno, explain yourself, and make it quick. This statue was meant to symbolize goodwill in its original form, but that was a secret. A secret? Whatever do you mean? What I mean is that it was broken when someone used it to strike Mayor Tenma on the head. That's the left clearly makes it look like the two yokai are battling it out. The statue's secret and the true form were lost inside that locked room. For Miss Tenma, it was the only living soul who should have known what it once looked like. So, Mr. LaBelle, where could you have possibly seen that statue in its original form? What do you mean, where? The only possible answer is this. You saw the statue in its original form. Right there in the room where Alderman was murdered before it was broken. How dare you! Mr. Justice, are you accusing the witness of some sort of crime? I've been accusing him this entire fucking time, Your Honor. Yes, I am. Florence LaBelle! I accuse you of the murder of Alderman Rex QBI! Hack! Where's the silence, Blackwell? Order! Mr. LaBelle, you have been accused of murder. Do you have anything to say in your defense? How could you possibly accuse me, the embodiment of beauty? Way to go, Apollo! This is the conclusive evidence we need. Magnificio! We got you now! We know you killed the Alderman. Now admit it.
Silence.
There it is. There it is. Enough of your silly games, Justice Dono. This Princess and Peacock could not possibly be the killer.
Objection.
What are you talking about? His alibi has already crumbled to dust. And I just proved that he was in the Fox chamber while it was still locked tight.
Silence.
Why couldn't he have not seen the statue in its true form before the murder? Silence! Silence, madcap! After all, he was close friends with the Alderman. Ergo. Yes, that's right. I can clearly remember now. Alderman QBI told me about it. About what the statue actually looks like. I mean, he was a good friend of mine. Whose side are you on, Blackwell?
Objection!
Yeah, right! He wouldn't show you a secret gift just like that!
Silence.
Moreover, it has already been proven that he was not present at the scene of the crime. It has? Forgotten, have we? Recall the little scramp's testimony, if you will. When Jinxie Tenma unlocked the Fox chamber, she saw the Alderman and the mayor collapse there, and no one else. Oh, dang it. Apparently so, yes! That man changed his hair color so many times! Yo, he does look like the Joker. Is that why they chose the grandpa this time? His hair was once purple, and then like for a few minutes, like an hour earlier, then before that it was blue, and we first saw him with the blonde hair. Who knows what other color of hair he can pull? Now I would say pull off, but he's not rocking any of the colors. I hate him, by the way. If you cannot tell, I hate Flipel. Pull hair, it hurts. I would like to pull his hair. He's being an absolute asshole. Thus, Florence LaBelle could not possibly have been in that locked room. No! Ah! Wait, Apollo, is that what you were forgetting about? I just don't get it. How could Jinxie not have seen LaBelle? The proof is inconceivable. There's no room for debate exists. Am I not right, your baldness? It does seem awfully conclusive. The fact points to the defendant and the victim being the only people in that locked room. Moreover, the defendant has already confessed. Twice, apparently.
Objection!
Silence. You cannot defend the indefendable. Your role in this charade is now over, Justice Dono. But your baldness. This trial would last an eternity if we were not to keep crossed blades with these simpletons. It's high time you brought down the hammer of justice. A point well made. I believe it's time to declare a verdict. The court finds the defendant, Damien Tema. Now who is yelling, hold it? Oh. Hi, Tematoro! How's it going? It would seem that my time is at hand. But Mayor Tema? Counselor, there is a matter in which I must testify. I recall it now only for your good graces. Oh, Counselor. Oh, right, he must be me. Has he finally remembered what happened before that blow to his head? Bailiff, don't just stand there. Seize him. It's no good. I can't restrain him. Know me in despair. For I, Tematoro, Demon Lord of the Yokai. Mr. Justice, do something. Let the demon testify, okay? Isn't it that simple? Let the demon testify. Bitch. Since when am I responsible for court security? Polo, this is our chance. We might get new information out of him. Your Honor, seeing as our client has something new to say, I testify that he's testing the judge's patience. Everybody's testing the judge's patience. I believe it's due process demands that we hear him out, even if he is a yokai. When you put it that way. Still, I believe testimony by a yokai is precedented in the legal world. Hey, there's no law against it, Your Honor. I know you can, Madcap. I know you absolutely can test my patience. Good. But you know, you can't. A simple sub will, you know, take away those pesky little ads testing your patience. You know, has a sub. It's just a mere suggestion. Please only give me money if you can. So that way I can give the money to charity. Unprecedented in absurdity. More like... Alright then, Mr. Dematema, or should I say Mr. Tematoro? Your testimony, please. I shall now speak of the regulations most real, courtesy of my host, Damien Tema. Hear these words, immortal, for I hear them, for you hear them but once you shall. The ruler of demonkind. Barely conscious was Dema there amid the darkness. Suddenly, two yokai did appear. On one side, I, Tematoro, ruler of demonkind, and the other, my mortal enemy, the nine-tailed fox. That was it. That's your whole that's the whole testimony? So is the defendant asserting that the room he was in was very dark at the time? Strange as it may be, yes, in all deed, it was in darkness. And the part about Tematoro and the nine-tailed fox being there? Yes, that too! Tematoro told overhead. Had the nine-tailed fox glittered gold. Ah! I call animal abuse, Your Honor! It would seem the defendant's recollections are not to be trusted. Yes, well, truth be told, my host's recollections are still a bit fuzzy. As if it was half dreamt, it happens lingers in his mind. Apollo, maybe I can help here. Ah, yes! Really? Oh, you mean, yeah, I can hear it. The discord in his heart. I sense an unusual emotion in the mayor's memory of the event. Okay, I'll just hope our findings don't come back to haunt us, like they always seem to do. Sometimes, most times. Barely conscious was Demeter amid the darkness. Suddenly, two yokai did appear. On one side, I, Tematoro, ruler of demonkind. Why would he be sad about that? And the other, my mortal enemy, the nine-tailed fox. It sounds like the mayor saw the same thing that was shown on the scroll. What's with those Temas and their yokai visions? I think it's sweet how father and daughter can share something like that. I don't think a shared nightmares really qualifies as sweet. Anyways, all I need to do is point out an unnatural reaction like last time. Right. Look for places where the emotions and conflicts to testimony. That conflict usually indicates a thought or emotion that's being suppressed. Oh fuck! I didn't do it right. We do this so little.
Got it.
When the nine-tailed fox appeared, you not only experienced a shock and sadness, but also something like joy as well. Joy? Perhaps it was joy at the light coming to my eyes at long last. A long, terrible creaking did pierce the silence. And then there was light. On reflection, it was a door that did produce the infernal racket. A creaking door. Oh, you must be talking about the Forbidden Chamber door. It does make a lot of noise. So this means the Forbidden Chamber really was opened. What about the sudden light he described? I think I know. He mentioned the darkness and Tematoro towering overhead. Maybe the mayor wasn't really in the Fox Chamber at the time of the scene. The mayor wasn't wasn't really in the Fox Chamber at the time of the crime. Mr. Mayor, did the darkness that you were describing happen to be here? The Forbidden Chamber? Was it not the Fox Chamber where the murder did occur? Yes, but it all makes sense if you were in the Forbidden Chamber. That terrible creaking sound was probably the Forbidden Chamber's door opening, and the towering Tematoro you saw was most likely the Forbidden Chamber statue. Why, yes! That would explain it. The darkness and the staff in the demon's grasp. But even all if that was true, what about the nine-tailed fox? Maybe he was seeing things, just like Jinxie and her imaginary yokai. Finicioso, Apollo. It's entirely possible. In a groggy, dreamlike state, people can misremember things and events. Misremember, you say? Let me think. Ah! I do believe. I remember now. That was not at the nine-tailed fox. It was the amazing Nine Tails. Sorry, the music goes Sam. But what? The amazing Nine Tails? At first, it was but a dream, but now I thought most certainly I do recall it. 'Twas the amazing Nine Tails who did open the Forbidden Chamber doors. I'm sorry I asked. The amazing Nine Tails? But that was the victim Elderman Cubii, right? Yeah, why would he open the Forbidden Chamber? Wasn't he trying to keep it sealed? Never mind to that. This is completely new information. Let me enter it and then run an update. Barely conscious was cemetery in the Forbidden Chamber. Amidst the darkness, a mighty statue of Temotoro loomed overhead. Suddenly, the door opened, and the staff of light it did pierce the gloom. The amazing Nine Tails had come to the rescue.
Got it!
When the amazing Nine Tails opened the chamber, banishing the darkness within, you felt joy, but didn't you also feel shock and sadness? Yes, in that hazy depths of my mind, I do recollect something of that nature. I do believe it was the fiend's cape of red. For when I did behold it, a great wave of sadness did unexpectedly wash over me. A cape of red? Apollo, we reduced the noise level. Oh, but there's still a little left. Maritema, why were you sad when you saw the red cape? Why indeed? What could this mean? I guess his memory is still a little spotty. I know because of his latest recollection contradicts the evidence. Yeah, it's one of those contradictions that slaps you right across the face. Since something so obvious could arise, when someone is trying to force a fuzzy memory into a definite shape, Apollo, I know what you have to do. You need to present evidence that contradicts the image you see. Oh, so it's basically the same as the usual cross-examination process. Okay, time to review the evidence. Look out, contradiction. Here comes justice.
Objection!
But you said the amazing Ninetales cape was red. Are you sure about that? Yes, well, I do believe it was a red cape I saw, but... Maritema! Does this cape look red to you? Oh! That does certainly not look red. Not even scarlet or crimson either. Nevertheless, upon my liberation, something red did fill my eyes, as yet hazy as a field of view. And I thought to myself, the amazing Ninetales is arrayed in a cape of red. So you mistook that red something for his cape, huh? Apparently so, and remembering it now, it brings a great sadness upon me. So the red something probably wasn't a cape after all. Maybe the great sadness he mentioned is what's interfering with his memory. Well, he would have seen the fox chamber behind the amazing nine tails. What red object could he have seen there that would have been that shocking? I know. Could it have been... Mr. Mayor, was the red thing you saw this?
Take that!
Foolish mortal, do you mock me? Whoa! Sorry! I'm afraid I have no recollection of seeing such an item. You must cease this practice of leaping before looking. So sorry. Youch, that was a human demon double punch. Apollo, think of something red and that could probably reduce a feeling of sadness. Take a good look at the evidence again. Mr. Mayor? Was it blood? Okay. I thought maybe one of the colors he could go with red. Well, something red that could have produced a deep sadness. Could it be Maritema that what you saw was the Elderman's blood? Blood? Why, yes, it was blood. Ugh! It's all coming back to me now. It wasn't a red cape that I saw. It was lying behind the amazing nine tails, the Elderman's bloody body. Eek! Wait. What? His nose level is down to 0. I think he's remember everything now. Does this mean the Amazing Nine Tails killed the Elderman Cubii? But the Elderman was the Amazing Nine Tails. So how would that exactly work? I don't think it was suicide. Hey, I asked you first. Well, Mr. Justice, you sure know how to make a complicated matter even more complicated. It's just my job. Thanks for the follow. How do I pronounce that? Simwimbisai? Hey, I tried. Can't knock a girl for trying, right? Simwimbis? Thanks for the follow regardless. Ah, so you're one of those types of people. I got it. You're one of those people. True, but at the time of the crime, our client was in the Forbidden Chamber. Moreover...
Silence.
Hoy, don't you think this is strange? The little scramp has already confirmed her father to be in the Fox Chamber. But she said not about seeing the Amazing Nine Tails there. Ach, you just had to bring that up, didn't you? Jinxie didn't see LaBelle there either. This is so weird. Who was really in that room then? Would the defense care to share any theories with the court? Can you explain the inconsistency between the defendant's testimony and his daughter's? I think I have to say yes. Yes, of course I can explain it. Because if I don't, we're in serious trouble. No, none with your more bluffs and fairy tales, I trust. That comforts. Yes, Ace Attorney just really puts you in the mood to sleep, doesn't it? Solving murder definitely puts people to sleep, right? And I totally get it. I totally get it. Please just take care of yourself. Fair warning, Justice Dono. I shall have your head if you fail to explain this. Eep. What about a good old-fashioned penalty? Well, Mr. Justice, let's see if you have a head worth keeping on your shoulder. First of all, Mr. LaBelle was definitely in the Fox Chamber while it was locked. We also know that Mayor Temma was in the Forbidden Chamber based on his testimony. These two facts are crucial to my explanation. So let's consider the following question. If the fact points to Florence LaBelle and the victim being there at the scene, why did Jinxie Temma see the victim and her father, Mayor Temma? A very good question indeed. And I suppose you have an answer for us. Sadly, you two would be you'd be supposing wrong. You think she could have mistaken LaBelle for the mayor? Well, if she did, then the question is, why did she do that? Well, how about that explanation, Mr. Justice? I believe it's time for time for questions is over. The defense assertion that Florence LaBelle was at the scene of the crime. However, Jinxie Temma has testified that she saw her father collapse there. If she had in fact misremembered the facts, then what made her do some? The figure that Mr. Temma saw was not her father. It was Florence LaBelle disguised as Demi Temma.
Silence.
That is completely impossible. Completely impossible. Their faces are utterly unlike. How can you explain that mere away with a mere disguise? Yes, they both do have incredibly distinctive faces. Maybe the disguise has completely hid his face. I think Jinxie would have mentioned if she couldn't see her father's face. And if it was that sort of disguise, wouldn't she have removed it? Oh, right. Your sword is as dull as your mind, Justice Dono. I shall just show you what a truly sharp blade is capable of. I think I'll bet! Apollo? Doing okay there, buddy? Are you okay, Apollo? I'm not fine, am I? Well, now that we have our that little fairy tale out of the way, your baldness, your verdict, if you will. Mr. Justice, I believe it's time for a verdict. If you have no further arguments, well, what's even left for me to do? Apollo! Remember what Mr. Wright always says. When you're stuck in a tight spot, turn the case upside down. Turn the case upside down? Well, he does say that, doesn't he? But I don't quite see how it applies here. Still, never hurts to give it a try, I guess. Let's see. Rather than Jinxie didn't remove the disguise, maybe she couldn't remove it. And rather that she didn't tell anyone about the disguise, maybe it's she couldn't talk about it. A wrestler mask is more precious than his own life. He never unmasks himself in front of others. But there are matches where wrestlers battle for the right to remove each other's masks. To have your mask torn off is the worst humiliation a wrestler could suffer. That's why their masks are more important to them than life itself. And what about the fact that it was the amazing Ninetales who opened the door? The mask that could be removed a mask that can't be removed in front of others. Can these facts turn things around? Ah! Ah! We got it all backwards. Apollo? I think I think we made a huge mistake. Your baldness? I see no further to indulge in their silly little facade. Defense has no proof. They never did, and they never will. Then it seems that I must announce my verdict. I do have proof! Do you now? Alright, but this better be good, Mr. Justice. We can solve this remaining riddles by turning all of our assumptions upside down. Why did Jinxie Temma mistake Mr. LaBelle for her father? Why she couldn't remove the costume, or tell anyone about it in the first place. These riddles are instinctively linked to Mr. Temma's secret identity. A shocking secret identity that will turn the entire premise of this case upside down! Mayor Temma's the amazing Ninetales, isn't he? This piece of evidence clearly reveals Mayor Temma's secret identity. Gah! What absolute claptrap! Poppycock! Balderdash! We all thought the Alderman was the amazing Ninetales, and the mayor was Temma Toro. That's why we believe the mayor killed the Alderman in his lust for Ninetales Vale. And it was his bias the basis for the prosecution's entire case against our client. However, we got this whole thing backwards. Mayor Temma wasn't Temma Toro at all. He was the amazing Ninetales. What's this? You best explain yourself, Justice Dono. And from where do you derive such a far-fetched conclusion? Jinxie had no doubt that knew the true identity of the amazing Ninetales, but she couldn't tell anyone no matter what. That's why she didn't say it was the amazing Ninetales she saw passed out. Even though, unbeknownst to her, it was really Florence LaBelle in the disguise.
Silence.
The accused and the deceitful Dandy are utterly similar in physical build and voice. The little scrimp would have seen the difference. Remember, Mr. LaBelle had his very own brand of cosmetics. Why couldn't he fake a different build too? Anyone speaking through a mask would naturally sound different.
Silence.
Why did she not simply pull off the mask?
Objection.
A masked wrestler's disguise is more precious than life itself. As a huge fan of the amazing Ninetales, she would never dare unmask him. Gah! This case of mistaken identity also explains the riddle of the locked room. Then by all means, Mr. Justice, answer it for us already. First, Mr. Enter the room where the mayor and the alderman were talking. I suspect he brought with him a coffee laced with some sort of sedative. Once the alderman was out cold, that's when Mr. LaBelle killed him. Next, he took the mayor, who he also drugged into the forbidden chamber. Then he returned to the Fox chamber and slipped into some of the mayor's spare clothes. And then completed the disguise, donning the amazing Ninetales mask. With his entire charade in place, Mr. LaBelle then let out a scream. The scream that led Jinxie Temma to the scene. Ah! So then, the person who said, I killed Alderman QBI. Yep, that was Florence LaBelle in disguise. The mayor actually never confessed.
Silence.
This is no more than guesswork and speculation. Now stop your jabbering and...
Objection.
No, you twisted samurai. This time you stop your jabbering and let me finish making my case. Ugh! Once Miss Temma left the scene, Mr. LaBelle was still wearing the mayor's clothes and the mask and opened the forbidden chamber. so he could drag out the mirror back out into the fox chamber. Oh, so the amazing Ninetales in the mirror was... Right, it was LaBelle opened the forbidden chamber. The second time Mr. LaBelle opened the door to the forbidden chamber, he happened to catch the thieving Mr. Finch by surprise. Startled, Mr. Finch in his Tematoro disguise ran as fast as he could away from the room. As he did, he left behind a trail of him of feathers and tracks, and gave Miss Temma the scare of her life in the hallway. With no one left to witness the events that occurred, Mr. LaBelle proceeded to drag the sleeping mirror back into the fox chamber. I see. Well, that all certainly does make sense. Then after dragging the mirror back into the fox chamber, Mr. LaBelle threw out the mask at the window and fled the room.
Silence.
For this absurd series to work, it requires the defendant to be the amazing Ninetales. However, he was the one pushing for the marsupial merger. Such evidence, that such an individual could possibly take the amazing Ninetales is preposterous.
Objection.
The mayor was blackmailed into pursuing the merger. Miss Temma's life would have been in danger if he had openly voiced his opposition. That's why he created the secret identity as the amazing Ninetales. Gah! This is madness! No one could possibly hatch such an insane plot. No one except the killer is as sane as his plot. And I say Florence LaBelle more than qualifies. Foolish mortals, it is all your perils that you forget who I am. Mayor Temma, it's okay now. Jinxie will be safe as soon as Mr. LaBelle is arrested. You are the amazing Ninetales, aren't you? Alright, who's yelling hold it this time? And his hair is back to blonde! You have quite an active imagination. Mayor Temma is not the amazing Ninetales.
Objection.
What do you mean? Well, has the mayor admitted to it yet? But that was just... And even if you did admit to such nonsense, I will reveal the truth behind the Tematoro right here and now. What? Huh? Why, you would dare to reveal the secrets? My good friend the other man tell me all about it. But wouldn't it be good to expose the truth? With the superstitions, no, would it? The truth behind Tematoro. What's he talking about? So go ahead, say it. I'm the amazing Ninetales. I dare you!
Objection.
Wait! Will someone please explain what's going on here? Mayor Temma will do anything to keep the truth behind Tematoro a secret. A dark, terrible truth that has been kept secret by the village superstitions. And if the mayor admits to being the amazing Ninetales, you'll expose the truth? Right! I won't have him walking free because of some nonsense you made up. So what now, Justice Dono? Without the mayor's admission, your series is useless as you are in battle. I'll show you who's useless. Apollo! Don't you dare give up now! I know! Your Honor! I believe Mr. LaBelle's statements warrant a thorough cross-examination. After all, the true identity of the amazing Ninetales is the cornerstone of this case. There's no source sneeze. You do have a point there. There might be a third sneeze. Thank you. Please answer to the court, Mr. LaBelle. Is the defendant the amazing Ninetales or not? The amazing Ninetales' true identity. The amazing Ninetales' true identity is not Mayor Temma. The mayor would never admit such utter nonsense. But if he did admit to such nonsense, I will expose the truth behind Tematoro right here and now. And that would bring ruins upon Ninetales Vales, just as the superstitions say. Oh shit, we don't have them anymore. Talk about it out of the pot and into the fire. At this rate, the mayor will be found guilty for sure. Honestly speaking, if Mayor Demi and Tema is not the amazing Ninetales, I'm afraid I don't see how the defense has much of a case here. And let's just leave it at that, shall we? Oh, we know that Elderman Cubi was the amazing Ninetales. Anyways. I know, he just makes me uncomfortable in general, okay? So, yeah. I hate him. He can go die in a fire for all I care. There is gotta be a hole in that testimony somewhere. But I don't even know where to start. If honestly someone actually liked him, that would be a huge hear me out. But I don't, so I can't see it. I can't see how anybody could like Florence LaBelle. Since we don't have any proof that the mayor is the amazing Ninetales, then we'll just have to get him to admit it himself. But if he admits it, LaBelle's gonna expose the secret behind Tematoro. Ah! We are so close! I know it! The defense may cross-examine the witness. I hate it so much.
Hold it!
This whole case only makes sense if the mayor is amazing Ninetales. I know you just used his mask to create an illusion of a locked room murder.
Silence.
Nothing more than an idle speculation. You have no evidence now, do you? Have you?
Objection!
Mr. LaBelle knows that the statue originally looked like. That means he had been in the Fox chamber while it was locked tight. Sorry, but I heard about that statue from Elderman Cubi. If you don't believe me, just ask him. He's kind of dead. Oh, but what's that? The Elderman's dead? Looks like the joke's on you, my sweaty little friend. Apollo! Mind if I wring his neck? Wait in line, because I'm going first. No, wait, no, Apollo. Wait your turn, because I'm first. Temper. Anyways. The mayor would never admit to such utter nonsense. The only nonsense here is in this court, and it's you and your assertions. Tisk, such an anger is terrible for the skin, you know. Beauty is like a flower that blooms. It's like a flower that blooms forth in the serene heart. Excuse me? I wouldn't expect a wilted peasant like you to understand. Perhaps this fragrance will help you blossom your bloom. Ah! You liked that, didn't you? Enough jabbering about blossoms and whatnot. Get on with your testimony before I slice you into a bouquet of cut flowers. Oh dear, please excuse me. I was saying the assertion of our wilted attorney is here's utter nonsense. But if you did admit to such nonsense... Let me press.
Hold it!
You'd be arrested, wouldn't you? Yes, it's true. I would be sacrificed upon the altar of justice despite my innocence. You don't even know what I have in store once we reveal the truth. Baby, I don't even know! But what a terrible loss that would be for the future of mankind's cosmetics needs. Says the guy who doesn't even sell his fucking products. It's a tragedy that must be averted. Defend me if you understand this.
Silence.
The only terrible loss is the time wasted by your ceaseless yammering. If you would avert the tragedy awaiting for you that is a vexing verse such on yours, then. Yes, I know. Get on with my testimony. Anyway, suffice to say, should the mayor admit to the defense's attorney, I will make good on my threat, and...
Hold it.
And just how did you learn of the so-called truth behind Tematoro? He is the... Alderman Cuba told me all about it. The secrets of the Forbidden Chamber and the truth behind the Tematoro. Why would he share secrets like that with you, Mr. LaBelle? Because of the Alderman's wife. I was looking after her for while she was hospitalized. He appreciated it so much that he shared the secrets with me. Wait, did he just threaten the Alderman in addition to the mayor? The Alderman's dead. Don't tell me that's how he learned to open the Forbidden Chamber. Needless to say, I'm not above revealing the truth behind Tematoro. And that would bring ruin upon Nine-Tailed Vale, just as the superstitions say. Do not gaze upon Tematoro. Do not tell others if you see him. Is that what the village superstitions say? Exactly! Telling others what Tematoro looks like would reveal the truth. That's why the superstitions were written down in the first place. And ruins coming from the village if you free him, is that a warning not to expose the truth? Bingo! And that's the truth is, the Tematoro is a great, greed inspiring fortune. That's why the whole battle of Nine-Tailed Vale is all about. Tematoro is a great fortune. Come to think of it. Only that's the greatest get-rich chance in the universe. Grandpappy told me all about it, so there's amazing treasure in there. Telling the villagers that Tematoro is a terrifying yokai is what scared them away from the Forbidden Chamber and the treasure within. That's how the treasure has been kept secret all this time. Well. It seems our ace attorney must have uncovered the truth that must not be revealed. Mayor Tenma looks like he wants to keep the truth hidden as much as I do. Tragedy is doomed to repeat itself as long as Tematoro exists. That's why the secret must be protected. As long as Tematoro exists, huh? Mr. LaBelle, please add that statement to your testimony.
Hold it.
So in other words, tragedy wouldn't occur at all if there was no Tematoro. Yes, I suppose that is a wishful. This is LaBelle. Yes. You don't say. As long as Tematoro exists, huh? How's the mayor supposed to admit that he's the secret identity now? Well, we have to find a way to make him say that it is our entire case on rails. There must be a hole in LaBelle's testimony somewhere. I just have to go with my gut.
Objection.
My gut was right. Mr. LaBelle, what if Tematoro no longer existed? Revealing the truth would no longer be an issue, would it? If Tematoro no longer existed. are you talking about? Oh, apparently you haven't heard. Tamatoro no longer exists. But I guess you didn't get to do a thorough search after the key was taken from you. Because when we searched the Forbidden Chamber, there wasn't any treasure there. Really? Well, maybe you weren't looking in the right place! Sorry, but I had proof that Tamatoro no longer exists. Take a look at this figure. What do we have here? It looks like some sort of creature. We found this in the Forbidden Chamber. It's a Azuki Kyozo figure. The great Caesar Azuki Kiri used to leave them at the scene of his crimes. Are you suggesting that the Tamatoro has been stolen? Yep, Phineas's French grandfather, a master thief, was the culprit. And by that hideous moronic caretaker's grandfather, no less. I know! My beautiful golden Tamatoro! The greed inspired by Tamatoro can no longer bring ruin upon Ninetails Vale. Isn't that right, Mayor Tema? The roots of tragedy would indeed seem to be gone. In fact, I now recall the Elderman revealing the secret to me on the day of our meeting. He must have been speaking of Tamatoro, for he said to me the golden ingot was gone. The golden ingot? You mean the treasure that Tamatoro's true form? Recall, if you will, the scroll in the Forbidden Chamber. Tamatoro is the yellowest object shown there. A giant golden ingot that my monadic ancestors bestowed upon Ninetails Vale. In return for that gold, my ancestors did receive from Ninetails Vale a land that would become Tema Town. But drive the villagers mad with greed. That was that great fortune. Bitter was their greed, fueled by battle. It was as if they were possessed. My ancestors' gold became a curse upon their village, a curse of ruin. Thus, it was the yokai Tamatoro that came to be. So Tamatoro and the village superstitions were merely fairy tales to scare people away. Fairy tales or not, Tamatoro made quite the mess of things. Yes, indeed, for there is no greater monster than the immortal man and the lust for gold. Well, you know what they say, the love of money is the root of all evil. My ancestors did bring a terrible thing here to Ninetails Vale, a thing so terrible that Tamatoro, a monster just as terrible, had to be created to keep it a secret. Yet we have naught but love for the little village in which we owe our very existence. Tamatoro will never seek to take over Ninetails Vale in a merger. Oh my, that would be quite a shocking lesson in history. Mr. Mayor, now that we know that Tamatoro no longer exists, are you ready to admit your secret? You are the amazing Ninetails, aren't you? No! Don't do it! Please, no! Was that his confession? Begone, you demon to demon! Now, where was I? The Golden Lord of the Yokai, the amazing Ninetails, is indeed me. And that means Jinxie. Yes? The man wearing the mayor's clothes who you saw collapse on the Fox Chamber. Was he wearing the amazing Ninetails mask? Uh-huh. That's what made me think it was Papa. He said he was going to reveal his secret identity to Alderman Cubii that day, so it really wasn't Papa I saw there, was it? It was Florence's idea from the start. He advised me to reveal my secret identity to the Alderman. Yeesh. Goldberg machines have less of elaborate setups than LaBelle's schemes. You may rest now, little Jinxie. That monster description is the true. The true facts behind this case have finally come to light. Mayor Tema did not kill Alderman Cubii, but Florence LaBelle did. How dare you, peasant! Gag! No!
Silence.
Justice Dono. You should at least have a real blade in your hands if you desire to cross swords with me. Or have you mistaken this battlefield for a training ground? What? What's this guy want now? Evidence is like a razor-sharp blade that cuts through the bone as if it were butter. But you only have blind guesses. A dull blade, incapable of even cutting a cake. He has you there, Mr. Justice. Fair, I have not presented evidence in a while. After all, evidence is everything in a court of law. But, that they're right. Let's see some evidence. Of course, a perfect being like me wouldn't leave any incriminating evidence behind. Yeah, but you just handed it to Sienna. This is the final battle. Just as a samurai must live and die by the sword. You will live or die by the evidence you hold. My swift blade of judgment waits. Now, present your conclusive evidence. Or don't you have any? Oh, crud. Do I have anything inclusive? Of course I do! Evidence? Of course I have evidence. You do? Of course. It's just the conclusive evidence we need, too. I'm gonna finally prove that Meritema is innocent. Here comes justice! Let's review the facts. The most damning evidence against Meritema is the crime scene itself. The mayor and the victim were only two people found in the room. We also thought that the alderman was killed because he was the Amazing Ninetails, but as we now know, of course, we were way off. The Amazing Ninetails is really Mayor Demian Tema. That's why when his daughter Jinxie saw the Amazing Ninetails collapse on the scene, she mistook him for her father. There are the facts that we have revealed. However, Mr. LaBelle asserted that he did not leave any evidence at the scene of the crime, but he didn't say anything about evidence outside the crime scene. Maybe he isn't as clever as he thinks. Oh, I know, the Amazing Ninetails mask. It was found washed up alongside the river. What sort of clue does the... Can't be the white hair. The patch of golden amber. It was found and caught in the wind of the crime scene. Oh, but that's evidence from inside the fox chamber. I should be thinking about evidence. Oh, does it belong to? It was in the river, though. It would wash out. The hair and the mask belong to the alderman. So the true identity... No, of course it isn't. The white hair is LaBelle's. Oh, right! That hair is Florence LaBelle's. Yes! Now that's what I call conclusive evidence. Well, Mr. Justice, do you have any conclusive evidence to present to this court? Of course I do. Observe this mask, if you will. That mask? How is this that conclusive evidence? It's not the mask itself, but the white hair inside it. We originally thought it would belong to the alderman Urex Cubii. Yes, but the Amazing Ninetails, as we now know, is Meritema, so... That's correct. So the question is, whose hair could this be? And the man to answer that last question has to warn it before it was discarded. That would be you, Florence LaBelle. What are you talking about? I never had a hideous white hair like that.
Silence.
White hair is his natural hair color, isn't it? It would appear your coupe de grace failed to hit its mark. This freakish flop is not the white-haired type. because he's busy being a one ludicrously garnished color or another. No, Prosecutor Blackwell. It's you have made a fatal error. What? Remember what this mask where this mask was found. It was washed up by the side of the river. With that in mind, this last piece of evidence will solve all the remaining riddles. Ugh! That's... It was your fault for giving this to Asina. What's that? This is Miss Lobel's own private brand of hair color. It washes out with just water. The court will also recall that the Amazing Ninetales mask was washed up alongside the village outside with white hair inside of it. What's this? Are you saying that the preening peacock's hair color is... That's exactly what I'm saying. Mr. Lobel's hair color is a freaky work of fiction. But thanks to that river flowing through the Ninetales Vale, we now have the real life exposed. The white hair in the mask is conclusive evidence proving that you are the real killer. A DNA test is all that we need to prove it. And we both know we'll get a match. Admit it. Florence LaBelle, you were the one who killed Alderman Rex QBI. You peasants! How dare you! He confessed it in his breakdown. Haha. No, my makeup. He an old bitch. Hello, this is LaBelle. What? The project? It's off? This is LaBelle. The sponsors have pulled out? LaBelle speaking. I'm fired? You mean I'm no longer in Mayor Temma's aid? Hello, this is LaBelle. What? There are sarcophagus damaged to claims against me? $100 million? I'm finished! Washed up! A stick in the fork for me! I'm done! This is preposterous! I, Simon Blackwell, defeated by a 23-year-old nonetheless. Order on his 18-year-old assistant. Well, this is quite the unexpected outcome. I must hand it to you, Mr. Justice. Ah, thanks. You know where I learned it from, Your Honor. You really turned this case on its head. Just like that other lawyer, Phoenix Wright. Well, you know where I learned it from, Your Honor. Wait. That was a compliment, right? Prosecutor Blackwell, what have you done with Florence LaBelle? The forest man has withered like a flower without water. One of the officers is currently tending to him with a sprinkler. Wouldn't that just wash even more of his makeup off? Allow me to explain the actions of the guilty party in detail. The motive, of course, was to steal the gold and ingot known as the Tematoro. However, a few are allowed into the manor due to the crucial ties to Ninetales Vale. LaBelle set in motion plans to gain access to the manor and the gold within the Vale via the merger. But the efforts of the Amazing Ninetales saw those plans come to a halt. Thus, LaBelle murdered the alderman and attempts to pin the blame on Mayor Temma. I see, but what I still can't comprehend is why would he go through all the gold after the gold in the first place? Mr. LaBelle doesn't look like someone who is in need of financial aid. LaBelle hid his past well, much like he hid his beauty with makeup. He is mired in debt. A debt due to pouring money into a brand only he could love. Which is why he sought the gold with such a viscosity. Too bad for him. Someone else had gotten to it first anyways. I see. Very well then. His plan was flawed. Like I said, didn't my title say the sale tactic that would show the court of your evil deed? I believe it's time to declare a verdict. This court finds the defendant Tema not guilty! Woo! Yay! Please, you're scaring them. Court is adjourned. Yay, we did it! April 23rd, 1:23 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Well, that was some seriously good lawyering, Apollo. Even I didn't see that coming. Just got lucky, I guess. You banished Tematoro from Ninetales Vales like you were some kind of exorcist. There's still one thing I don't understand. How come Mr. LaBelle didn't kill Mayor Tenma too? He could have set it up so that the mayor murdered the alderman and then died from a counterattack. That would have removed at least one possibility to fly from the ointment. I was wondering about that too, but I have a hunch LaBelle was biding his time. He was planning on exposing the Amazing Ninetales' true identity himself. Huh? But why? Because the mayor was the Amazing Ninetales. Had LaBelle succeeded in framing Mayor Tenma for the alderman's murder, the wrestler's popularity would have plummeted once his identity was revealed. Oh, I get it. If the Amazing Ninetales was just killed, he'd die a hero. But if he was proven a villain, his fans would abandon him, making the merger that much easier. Right. Then the merger was complete and everything cooled down. He'd be able to search for the forbidden chamber at his leisure. What an insanely erratic plan. Caw! A most excellent job clearing my name. A feat worthy of the Demon's Lord's approval. You don't need to pretend anymore, Mayor Tenma. Why are you acting like Tematoro again? Let this be no concern to you. How could it be no concern to me? Tematoro, be gone! Gah! Jinxie, seems like ages since I laid eyes on you. Papa, you're finally back. Yes, it would seem Tematoro is no match for you. Ha ha ha. I'm not scared of that silly yokai anymore. Your father is a free man now, Jinxie. Isn't that great? Thanks to you for all you've done. Seeing you guys in action, it made me feel like I don't have to be afraid anymore. Wait, is Jinxie actually smiling? This is all thanks to you two. Too bad the Amazing Ninetales will have to retire, though. Aww, how come? Once everyone hears that I'm the Amazing Ninetales, my fan base will nosedive. After all, I'm not the most popular of people. Another reason for my secret identity. I don't see how it could possibly continue. I think you misjudged yourself. Take a look outside. Say, now that you mention it, what's all that noise out there? A big crowd gathered outside the courthouse once the news broke. It seems they wanted to get a glimpse of Mayor Damien Terma, the man behind the mask. To root for your return to the wrestling ring. Rooting for me. But I thought I was nothing more than a male factor in their eyes. The only one who really matters is Jinxie. Show her how cool you really are. Yeah, you're the coolest when you're out there fighting in the ring, Papa. Jinxie. Here, I think you'll be needing this. Thank you. Now if you excuse me. I don't want to keep my fans waiting. I can't believe that was my client. I sure hope they can settle their problems between Tematine and Ninetales Vale. Me too. I'm sure they'll be fine. After all, the blackmailer slash killer is behind bars, and the merger is no longer an issue. Plus, the Amazing Ninetales is obviously still a hit, and I expect the Ninetales Veil will be too. And it's all because we believed in our client, just like you said. Okay, people. Now that we've gotten that one out in the bag, let's go get something to eat. I'm starving! Sounds good. I've been nervous I haven't eaten since yesterday. Better keep eating, Apollo. Or you might have to start looking up to me. Huh? I'm definitely past my growth phase. I'm definitely past my growth phase. And you should be past yours, too. Are you kidding me? I'm just getting started! Ready or not, it's face stuffing time. Keep eating like that, and the only direction you'll grow is sideways. Very funny! I told you, these two are like siblings. I bet, but I got a hollow leg, so I can eat as much as I want without gaining an ounce. Really? Wow, I can't wait to see this. Calories? Just let me try to stick on me. All right, you're ready, you two? Let's get going before the old man closes shop. Alden's Noodles isn't an all-night stand, you know. I'm with Mr. Wright. Let's go. I've been waiting to have a bowl from there ever since Mr. Wright told me about them. Well, what are we waiting for? The noodles are on me today, so I expect some serious eating from you two. Yay! Thanks, boss! I won't let you down. Athena has no idea what she's getting into. Mr. Alden's noodles are so hot and salty. 2 bowls would kill a man. Okay, he doesn't need to be accused of murder again! That was our first case together. And it felt like nothing could bring us down after that. The dark age of the law seemed so distant, so irrelevant to our small, cozy office. But little did I know that it had been lurking all along, right there behind us. The first time it made itself known was during the murder at the Seasmith's Illegal Academy. That case would mark the twilight before the dark, cold night that was to come. A little sneak peek? Nope. Yes, let's save our progress, please. Okay. Back. Return to game menus, because we gotta do something. Change music. Let's do that. Now we can close out of the game because I'm finished playing for now. So anyways, thank you all for joining. I'll be back again on Thursday for more Phoenix Wright is the Tornado Destiny. We'll be starting to turn about the academic tournament. Get hyped! Now we're done with that facade. Let's see what else we can bring to our corner. Actually, no, like I said, this weekend we have. This weekend, so like I said, Thursday will be more Phoenix Wright is Attorney Dual Destiny, and then on Saturday should be Stardew. I think we're doing Stardew we are doing Stardew this weekend, right? Someone please tell me. I don't know. Who knows, honestly. Anyways, so, unfortunately, I'm not seeing anyone to raid, so we're just going to end it here. Good night!